5-minute salute. I'm your host, Chris Budihas. Today's segment is sponsored by the Military Affairs and Veterans Department of the City of Jacksonville. Harrison Conyers and the team squaring away our veterans with the benefits they earn through their military service. Talking about veterans, we got Scot Heathman with Elevating Others. Scott, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Chris?
Hey, man, I'm wonderful. I get to talk to great Americans like you on Thursdays and Fridays, so it's a good ending to my week. So we were talking off camera, School of Advanced Military Study, did some really fun stuff back in the day, but you went on and had a phenomenal end to your career. Can you tell the audience where you're from originally and what you do in the military?
Yeah, I'm a Minnesota native, originally Rochester, Minnesota. I went through the ROTC program at the Illinois Institute of Technology. And, my dream growing up was to fly. And so I knew, right as probably a 3-year-old, I wanted to go fly in some form or fashion. So the Air Force seemed to be the obvious direction. And, like most officers, though, we learn our technical craft, but at some point, there's leadership opportunities that grow and grow and grow. And I kind of ended up in that track, commanding a flying squadron up in New Hampshire with the New Hampshire Air National Guard as an active duty commander. And then I had a stint at Fairchild Air Force Base where I was a deputy commander and commander for a brief moment. And then I moved to Scot Air Force Base here in Illinois, where I was the commander of the installation. And then my last job right before retirement about 3 years ago was deputy commander of 18th Air Force.
Wow. Congratulations on a successful career, and thank you for your service to the nation. Obviously, you didn't do what you did as part of defending our nation. We couldn't be here today. So let's talk about your post-military journey. You retired in September of 22, and you created your own company, Elevating Others. So can you talk about solopreneurship or creating your own company? What was that like, and is it for the faint of heart or no? Is it very easy?
Is it very easy? Yeah. Obviously, any entrepreneur would say it's not easy, but I think also a lot of entrepreneurs would say they actually enjoy that journey, like the difficulty and the chaos, the VUCA environment, as we like to say. I was fortunate that, I made the decision about a year prior to actually getting out of the military. I put my application in for retirement. So I had a lot of time, and I think that's great advice for any veteran looking at transitioning is give yourself that time. Think about purpose, like what you want to do. And I knew my purpose was I love elevating others, and whether that's through teaching or coaching or developing or consulting. And I said, I'm going to create a business around that. I'm not the only one doing that, but there's not a lot of people like me with my background doing that. Yeah. So I could probably bring some interesting and new perspectives and learning. And it also keeps me in a constant state of learning. So that to me was very enticing. And I've really enjoyed having this business now for 3 years.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I got a small business myself. We're kind of working on scaling. We're going to create another one and launch here on 1 May, hopefully. And I tell you, you're right. It's not for the faint of heart. Like I tell folks, if you're a lifelong learner and you like learning, because somebody asked me, how hard is it to start your own business? I said, well, in the state of Florida, it's actually easy. I did it less than 36 hours. Now having one and running it is another question. I said, what do you know about business finance? They're like, not very much. I said, guess who's the CFO till you hire somebody? I said, what do you know about HR, policy, general counsel, all the legal things? They're like, not much. I said, well, guess who's going to do that unless you're hiring somebody? So it is definitely not for the faint of heart. But I think I'm 100% with you. I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy who I deal with and the clients that I work with. And I think that alone gives you purpose in your post-military career, if that's what you're choosing to do. And obviously, folks will choose other things. That's, for everybody, it's up to you to what you do. Just do it very well, and you've done so. So you were telling me, there might be some changes in the force here in the future. What's the future look for Scott?
Yeah, there was an interesting opportunity that came along, and it looks like I'll be heading back more to a full-time, kind of ramping down a little bit of my LLC, but they'll kind of play off each other, I think, a little bit. So it'll be the role is a CEO type role, or an innovation center. So, again, not something there's a playbook for, much like leading a base,
Yeah.
And, but I think that's, again, I think it's just part of my DNA. I'm very comfortable in that, ambiguous environment. And, the first thing is surround yourself with a great team. It's all about the people in the organization. So,
that's huge, right? And if you got a great team, and if you're a good leader and you're not, necessarily the one that's got to drive all the calls, you're actually getting the team to contribute. And then kind of, I tell somebody, sometimes it's not follow the leader. Sometimes it is follow the leader, but a lot of times it's more like being a maestro and getting the band together and making the music of business appropriately. So, Scott, last question. What's the one bit of advice you'll give to folks that are looking to separate here in the next year or so?
Yeah, one thing that I speak a lot about, especially at job fairs, is I would tell veterans, don't look at this as a transition. Look at this as a transformation. Yeah. Because I think it's a little underwhelming to think of it just as a transition, because there'll be times in the middle of the night, like all of a sudden, maybe emotions get to you, you wake up and you realize I don't have a tribe anymore. Yeah. So I think it involves spending and get to know yourself a little bit more. I think it absolutely involves developing new networks and expanding that network that you currently have. And then lastly, I think it's a heavy dose of just stay curious, be bold, try new things, and be a constant learner. And I think that's been, a good recipe for me and many others to continue to find success and get after their purpose.
That's wonderful. Yeah, when I could, based on, my military op tempo, so to speak, I still try to read 1 to 5 books per month. I've done that too. And then your point on, you're going to separate, in the future, I pivoted. I knew I wanted to get in the business world. So, I started to break out my old MBA books or buy ones that were more up to date, and then asked folks. I sought out mentorship with 3 individuals that have no military background, and they're my mentors. They have expertise in different areas in business, and ask what they're reading, and it's been very rewarding. And if you're going to be a solopreneur, I tell folks all the time, be willing to put the calories in, because it matters. So, hey, Scott, thanks a lot for what you're doing. What we're going to do is take your contact information, put it in our show notes, and encourage folks to reach out to you. And like I said before off camera, I'd like to bring you back and talk about the role of the CEO and how your transition went about the May-June timeframe. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Great to talk with you. We'll see you a little bit later. Good
to see you again. Thank you very much. Hey, folks, I encourage you to connect with Scott and I on LinkedIn, continue the conversation, and follow us. We'd love to, if we can help you in any way, DM us, and then we will keep that conversation going offline. So we'll see you in our next segment. Live with gratitude.
When they leave us for battle, we await their return. When their embrace is gone, we imagine them with us. Some don't come back. We grieve. Some come back hurting. We help. Heroes survive. We honor them. Heroes fall. We remember them. 150,000 veterans live in Jacksonville. We serve them. We're the Military Affairs and Veterans Department, City of Jacksonville. Because of them, our light never dims.